This is a comedy podcast and should not be used as a primary source of information. We apologize in advance for offending any tiny persons, the undead, the country of France, and all other minority groups. Information provided should not be considered extensive research. Use as directed. This podcast can burn eyes. Follow application directions exactly. Do not use while sleeping. Safety goggles recommended. Do not eat this podcast. Keep out of reach of children. Never use a lit match or open flame near this podcast. May cause drowsiness. Use care when operating heavy machinery. Avoid placing this podcast near crotch. Can cause urine to turn black. Once used rectally, this podcast should not be used orally. Loss of the ability to perform or enjoy sex and or painful erections that last for more than 4 hours are common while listening to this podcast. Other side effects include uncontrollable laughter, choking, fits of hysteria, diarrhea, anal hemorrhaging, constipation, bloating, sleepwalking, hallucinations, frequent alien abduction, excessive gambling, spontaneous combustion, blind spots, distorted vision, halos around lights, hair loss, unwanted hair growth, aggression, antisocial behavior, impulsivity, irritability, anger, anxiety, screaming, or self-harm.
But seriously, this show is not for anyone who is easily offended by strong language or graphic content. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What is that? It's like bananas and blow. I can't fucking sing it. Bananas and blow. Oh, and then I was like thinking tequila and Coke since that's what I'm drinking.
Tequila and Coke.
It's like the same thing. You really need to listen to that song.
Sounds like a commercial though. Sounds like kind of a Mentos commercial.
Better when someone that can sing actually sings it.
It doesn't sound like a commercial then?
No.
Cool. Well, that's how we're going to start this show.
Yup. Indeed.
All right. It is episode 13.
13. Is lucky number?
I was going to say, is it lucky number 13 or is it unlucky? You decide.
Are you telling me to decide or are you telling the listeners to decide? All the above.
Either.
Give us your input, motherfuckers.
You know, I keep asking for it, but nobody likes to start a conversation. Nobody likes to start a conversation, so I'm going to just comment on all of our stuff obsessively.
Until everyone's like, God damn it, I can't take it anymore.
And maybe I'll provoke somebody to speak with me. I don't know.
We'll just start antagonizing people and, like, pissing them off until they have to respond.
Right, but I can't do that because I will come off ridiculous, you know? Like, I'm so bad at verbal fights or whatever. I can't troll. I
really can't either. Like, if I say something that I know is going to piss people off, but then it gets to a point where it's just, like, a bunch of people arguing it, and just, like, I don't have the energy to deal with this, so you guys, like, go for it, and I'm going to be on my merry way.
My merry way.
My merry way.
So I had asked you if you had everything you needed, but I do not have everything I need. I need Watra and chapstick, so the huge. And hey, well, it's an opportunity for fun music. Okay, we are recording again. Yay. Now we're set.
Yeah, we are. Tequila and Coke. I can't tell what it tastes like. That's weird.
You can't tell what it tastes like?
Like, it reminds me of something, but I can't figure out what it is.
Let's see. Tequila and Coke.
Do you want to smell it?
Yeah, I'll smell it. I can't drink.
I know you can't. That's totally, like, not a thing, though.
No, it is.
It is totally not.
It is because it's affected me. Like, there was one time, yes, I drank like 2 beers on antibiotics, and I took over the entire bathroom, the one bathroom that was available for this entire party.
That makes sense.
And because I was like, it threw me. It like really threw me, and yeah. So
I could see digestively, that makes sense, because that's happened to me before too. But as far as
not diarrhea or whatever. No, I was vomiting. I was like,
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, as far as it not working, I have sources that say that you can still drink on it.
No,
but it does affect your birth control.
Oh,
so don't take birth control on antibiotics and then just go willy-nilly.
Bananas. Same thing with melatonin. I've heard melatonin for sleep can also mess with your birth control.
I heard that before too. Melatonin is not supposed to be good for you to take all the time anyways.
Sure.
But I guess that goes with anything.
Yeah, everything in moderation, including moderation. Boom, boom, boom. That was so weird. I didn't think about any of the notes that we needed to discuss today. The word you don't want me to say, stuff that the biz. Is that what we called it last time? The biz?
It's really lame, but it's better than using terms that other podcasts use.
They do? Well, no, that's what I'm thinking. That's what it's called. Everybody uses that.
I don't like it.
And it's not just for house.
Be original. Don't you say it.
It's not even just about podcasts. People say it in meetings from businesses.
We could be so much more creative than that, though.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'm okay with you not liking it, but it's not like I just pulled it out of thin air or what.
Oh no, I know that.
What have you? What have you? Do we have any shout outs?
I would and I feel like a dick because I'm a terrible person and didn't even promote or mention it. But shout out to Darren at Hula Moon for giving me a badass tattoo. Sweet. And I totally didn't even say anything about our podcast to him, though. I meant to give him a card and then I forgot.
Rude.
I know.
Rude. Well, it's not too late. Just go back and say, looks good. Here you go.
Yeah, I need to.
Yep. Which we
need to go up there soon.
That's one of the things that you'll be hearing about in the future. We got a connection there. Not wow, that sounded lame.
It did sound lame. We really know people.
No, what I meant is we have
friends
an episode
there
connection
and,
there.
Yeah.
So not anyway, what I'm trying to say is there's going to be Hula Moon in the future.
Yes.
For this podcast.
Yes.
Things in the work. So we got connections.
So cool. Oh God, did you watch any? Sorry, that made me think about douchebags, and then I was like,
Letterkenny.
No.
But no, I didn't. I was sick for a week and chose not to watch it.
That makes me so sad.
I forgot. Honestly.
Okay, sidebar. Everyone needs to watch Letterkenny. It's a Canadian sitcom, and it's the most fucking amazing thing in the world. And you need to watch all of it in one sitting.
Oh God.
What, 5, 6 seasons?
Oh my God.
There's only 7 episodes per. It's so good, dude.
But I did do that with MasterChef Junior while I was sick.
Wow.
5 seasons.
Wow.
They're great. They killed it, man.
I can't believe you chose that over my recommendation.
I needed something light.
I see how you feel about this friendship. Letterkenny is light.
I mean, not I needed something very positive.
It takes a second to kind of get used to the way they talk, though, because they talk really fast and they have thick accents.
They're Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And their banter is so fucking good and on point, but it's you kind of have to, it takes a minute to catch up to it. Chris started listening to it and he was kind of turned off to it at first because he just couldn't understand what they were saying. And a few episodes in, he was like, oh my God, this is so good.
He started listening to it?
No, he just watched it more. Yeah.
I was like, is it also a podcast?
I mean,
that would be cool.
It should be.
There's a lot of podcasts that do that, theater of the mind kind of deal, radio.
They it's like books on tape.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. But
Back to douchebags, the Fire Festival documentary.
Oh, yeah.
So we watched the one on Netflix, but we haven't watched the one on Hulu yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot there was 2.
It's so stupid.
Right.
It's just a bunch of trust fund kids that freaked out. Keelan showed me a meme, though. It was really funny. It was this dude just won a ticket in like a work lottery for it, and he was like kind of a festival kid anyway, so he was used to going to regular festivals. And he was like, it was the best festival of my life, just watching rich people freak out.
Right? He's like, I'm fine. I was at Burning Man in 93. I'm
right?
good.
They like had like nice tents with like twins, like double-sided mattresses, like 2 like twin-size mattresses in them, and people were like, I can't survive in these conditions. It's like, just try sleeping in the mud, motherfucker. That's what people do at regular.
Cake yourself with mud so the animals don't smell you.
Yeah, call it a night.
Yeah. No, I have not seen either of those documentaries, but I have heard a lot of people talking about them. In fact, somebody I don't know who it was. Sorry if I forgot who it was, and it was you and you're listening now. Someone recommended that as a story that we do. And I'm like, now there's 2 documentaries. I think it's done.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, someone did suggest that. I forget who, too.
It was on my list, and I don't know who it was, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just definitely trying to go off the beaten path of other stuff that's already been covered.
Right. It would have been cool until
it's
both
so
Netflix
mainstream
and
now.
Hulu
Yeah.
made documentaries.
Yeah, it's a little excessive now.
But there's stuff on my list that is equally absurd like that we will cover.
Oh, hey.
Yes?
You? In case you guys didn't know, it's all gone terribly wrong. A podcast
of absurdities, oddities, and obscenities.
Woohoo!
I think I did it right.
You did. You did good.
You did good, kid. Yeah, that's it. Okay, well, so we did shout outs. Woohoo! And,
I think we're still a little lackluster, so we apologize for that.
Yeah, it's
Rebecca's recuperating, and I'm
recuperating.
had a bad week.
Yeah.
Mentally, so.
Mental, physical.
Yeah.
It's been a long, hard road, y'all, this week. But this is episode 13. It's the turning point in the series where we just take off.
Rebecca looks like Superwoman right now.
So I guess that's it.
Bye.
Bye. We're done with the episode. The end. I'm trying to read through my notes to like make sure that we're not missing anything cool or interesting to talk about. Nope, that's it. There's nothing. I picked out a Gross America if you wanted to hear it.
For sure.
Okay. So this takes place in Washington, in Seattle. BT dub.
Always loved it.
So apparently
that there. Well, I don't know.
That them there. How?
Who?
All right. So this thing exists in Seattle, and it's beneath the Pike Place Market. Which apparently is where they have fish tossing.
Very famous market, yeah.
The very first Starbucks, which I do drink, the Pike Place Starbucks chocolate. Nope.
Dude, I
coffee.
Worked there, never even made that connection about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
What kind of laugh? Just like, I am so embarrassed for you right now.
I was literally thinking, oh, that's adorable. No, I've definitely not made obvious connections before. I'm not smart. I am not a smart man.
Whatever.
So this is in that area, and it's a giant wall of gum. They call it the gum wall. And it's apparently 50 feet wide and 15 feet high. And CNN even had an interest in, named it the world's germiest attraction, which that is pretty gross. Pretty gross.
For some reason, I just like envisioned someone like on X just like rubbing their body.
Ew.
Like,
they would stick. You couldn't like roll very far.
Doesn't it? It gets hard after a while.
You're right. It's like a massage because gum does
Ew.
harden. It's like a very pointy...
There's little roller things, but...
Massager.
Vertically. Yeah.
Vertical, yeah.
I'd contribute to that.
I'm sure you have. Or no, wait, did you ever go to Seattle?
No, I always, I lived in Portland for 2 years and never took the bus up there, and I regretted that immensely. And now Keelan's going there in like a week, and I'm so jealous.
What?
Yeah.
Why is he going to Seattle?
To visit.
Visit who?
One of our friends. He planned it before we were hanging out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, how long is he going to be gone?
Like a week.
Oh. For me, that's like a vacation. It's like,
yeah,
just do me for a little bit.
Oh, like while he's gone?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, dude. Like, I get to chill with my cats and be in my house by myself for a week.
Yeah.
And then when he gets back, I have to move and live with him. It's a good thing, but
moving
that laugh.
So fun.
Dude, I'm kind of hoping I definitely don't have to do it again.
Yeah. Ever in your life.
But
good luck with that.
We are technically married now because we have a phone plan together. So
common law.
Yep.
They all in the same residence. Bills. Blah blah blah. I'm sure.
Shit's getting real.
Well, good luck and
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah.
On the mutual phone bill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I told you earlier that mine could be lengthy, but it could be super short and multiple chapters if you wanted. So what do you want to do? You want to go first or me second? I mean, that's the same thing.
So you basically just like voluntold me to go first.
Subconsciously, I'm telling you to go first. Please. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, it really doesn't matter.
Are you sure? Well, I mean, I feel like, didn't I go first like the past 2 times?
I went first. You went first last, and then I went first before that. Because yours kind of like ended one and started it, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. I can go first. It's fine. Let's get this shit together.
Okay. Well,
I'm
Rebecca,
fine with going first.
Then tell me a story.
Oh, I'm going to tell you a story right after I get my chapstick.
Oh my God. I'm not on top of it today. I was like trying to think of something to sing and it's just not happening.
Oh, well. More fun music. Okay. Have you heard of the wide world of sports? That phrase? What in the wide world of sports?
I don't think so. World Wide Web?
Nope. Well, sort of, yeah. Pre that. This is the weird world of sports. Mm-hmm. It's so funny. All right, so I have a few stories about weird sports events or whatever.
Cool.
And then I also have some weird sports facts and then some weird sports around the world. So just a little bit of each.
I like that your theme is kind of relevant just because the Super Bowl is
Super
cut.
Bowl!
Yeah,
I'm so glad
and
you mentioned
you
that.
don't even
totally
care about
I do. I don't care about sports. Oh, I made this very loud.
Very
I'm
excited.
So sorry. No, I'm okay. So yes, I intentionally did sports because this episode comes out the week of leading up to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care about the Super Bowl.
And I do.
Hilariously enough, not one thing I'm going to talk about is football related.
Well, I figured that much, but I just dig that it's sports and the Super Bowl is coming up.
Yes. So that was my...
I dig it. Man,
attempt.
you were so on top of themes. I'm sad that I didn't catch the 13 thing.
It's called a calendar.
Jesus Christ. I don't fucking... You know by now I have no concept of time.
Zero concept of time. No, I just had these stories. I had a bunch of little sports related things. And I was like, I want to make that one episode. When should I do that? And the next sporting event was the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, convenient.
Love it.
However, nothing I'm going to say has anything to do with football.
That's okay.
Okay. The first event that I have is called Sentent. Oh my God. 10-cent beer night was a bad idea. And I totally ripped that off of the YouTube video that I saw this
okay.
on this. But yeah, 10-cent beer night was a bad idea. And I'm going to do this Sophia from Golden Girl style.
Oh, God.
Picture it. Cleveland, 1974. Instead of Sicily. But anyway. So, yes, this took place in Cleveland in 1974. And I'm going to read a quote from Anthony Castrovence of the MLB.com article that I cited for this story. So this is how it starts. It is one of just 5 forfeits for the Cleveland Indians since 1954, and the only one known to include a combination of streaking nudists, exploding firecrackers, stolen bases, literally, and an organist's rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, serving as the soundtrack to 50 ball players defending themselves from a crowd of unruly drunks. So that's a direct quote from him. And I felt like that really summed it up. So that's pretty much what happened. Like, that's the mental picture you can take from this.
That's amazing.
But some background. This incident took place on June 4th at a game between the Cleveland Indians and the Texas Rangers. This wasn't the first time Cleveland had sponsored a cheap beer promotion, and it wasn't like the Indians that created this promotion. Other MLB teams were doing the cheap drink nights. In fact, this incident actually begins in Texas at the Arlington Stadium during the first game between the Rangers, and it was their version of 10-cent beer night that night. So at that game, and this is another quote from this guy because it's got sports related terms that I don't really know and people that I might not know. So this particular piece right here is a quote by the same guy from MLB.com. The argument erupted in the 8th inning on May 29th when Texas's Lenny Randle dragged a bunt down the first baseline. I have no idea what any of that means.
He hit
Moving on
the ground and it rolled.
Okay. Sure. Okay. And intentionally collided with Cleveland retriever Milt Wilcox. Milt, M-I-L-T, Milt, who had earlier brushed back Randall with a pitch. Don't know what any of that means. That just flew right over my head. Something happened, and then the benches cleared. Players tackled each other. Fans threw beer and food at members of the tribe, which are the Indians, I guess. But strangely, nobody was ejected. So that one, like the team scuffled and fans threw stuff over the thing at the people. The thing at the people.
Excellent.
So that one was okay, not too bad. Billy Martin, who was then the Rangers manager, was asked if he was concerned about revenge from the Indians fans at the upcoming game in Cleveland. And Martin said, and this is hilarious. He says, they don't have enough fans there to worry about. So, boom, boom, boom. Well, they do when there's cheap beer involved.
Yeah.
So that's the exact point of this event. Or this promotion. So it didn't help that for every night between those two games, Pete Franklin, who is an outspoken radio personality for a show called Sportline, had spurred on Indian fans to basically seek revenge for that incident prior to.
Damn.
They really take their baseball serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen people anyway, maybe, I don't know.
Sportsball.
Yes, I don't get it. So cheap beer, June heat. Apparently the Northerners just really can't do heat. They cannot do summer. Blackouts,
right?
Riots. I mean, Jesus, pull yourself together. Cheap beer, June heat, and also it was a full moon that night. So,
of course,
chaos is definitely going to ensue. Okay, and so although the beer only cost 10 cents, there was a 6-cup limit, which I'm sure they totally...
Yeah, how do you even... No one cares.
Yeah, I don't even know how you would do that. Calculate that. Or regulate that, really, is what I meant. Mm-hmm. So there were over 25,000 fans. Sorry, I was going to say 100. No, that's not right. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that fact. So there were over 25,000 fans.
25,000?
Yeah. And then about 60,000 beers poured that night in Cleveland.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess these stadiums can hold a lot of people. And that's what they want, a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, okay, so, but throughout the game, the tension was high, but things really kicked off in the ninth when the game was tied 5-5. I don't know.
Shit. Damn.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so a drunken 19-year-old fan named Terry Yurkic.
God, Terry, get it together.
Terry jumped over the outfield wall and attempted to steal the cap of Texas right fielder Jeff Burroughs.
Okay.
So the guy jumps over, runs at him, and he's like trying to... I think he was trying to steal it, but he ended up like knocking it off on accident. Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't get the hat. Supposedly Burroughs tried to kick the fan away, but then he stumbled to the ground.
Kick him away.
I don't know.
Scat, get out of here.
It's chaos. So he kicked him, or tried to, and he stumbled to the ground. And then the Ranger manager, Mr. Martin guy, thought that the fan had tackled Burroughs. So he told his team to grab some bats and go help him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But... So seeing this, a large number of the intoxicated fans stormed the field. They had knives, chains.
Whoa.
They had taken parts of the stadium seats that they had like ripped apart. And some fans just threw bottles from the stands, but hundreds
I want to know why all these people had knives and chains.
It's Cleveland, and I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I assume that all Clevelanders have
They're just
knives and chains.
Requirement. Or
just as everyone in Texas owns guns. And on a horse.
Did you see the video of me shooting the rifle?
I did. That was pretty cool.
So badass.
Pretty cool. So yeah, basically at this point, hundreds of fans are surrounding the Rangers. But here's a good note. The Indians then rushed out of their dugout to defend the Rangers.
Nice.
Yeah, so,
Aww.
Sweet. As you can imagine, chaos. Mm-hmm. All in all, there were 50 police officers, 19 streakers, 9
Okay, can we stop for a second?
19 streakers,
like,
with people taking clothes off
amidst
everywhere.
all of the chaos,
Yep.
Some people are just
girl.
Fuck this, I just want to run around naked.
Madhouse. Everybody's on the field. There's just
I just want to know,
everywhere.
all of that's going on, and 19 people were like, it's a good time to get naked.
It's the best time to get naked. 19 people had the same thought. It's the best time to get naked.
Afraid because people are fighting. You're in a vulnerable place. People are swinging knives around on chains.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, that's what I
said knives and chains, but yeah, knives on chains. That's really screwed up too.
Tuck it in, man.
Okay, so of the 19 streakers, only 9 arrests were made, but I mean, they may not have been the streakers. Mm-hmm. Maybe they were other assailants. I don't know.
I was going to say, in the
9
big perspective of things, like, assault's worse than streaking.
You're right. So actually, 7 people did have to go to the emergency room. So.
Damn.
But nobody died, apparently. So that's
good.
You can see it all go down. There's footage. There's video footage.
Nice.
You just have to YouTube it. So just YouTube 10-cent beer night was a bad idea.
I feel like we should make notes.
I'll remember that.
Okay.
And the next one I have is Disco Demolition Night. So this one takes place in Chicago, also in the 70s, because the 70s for the North were terrible, terrible summers. So it was probably the worst summers they have ever known in history, because everything crazy just happened during the 70s up north, apparently. All right, so it's a blanket statement. I stand by my facts. Okay, so on July 12th, 1979, the Chicago White Sox promotion department came up with a brilliant and unusual promotion during a doubleheader against the Detroit Tigers at Kaminsky Park in Chicago. They called it Disco Demolition Night. So fans of the rock radio station 98.9 FM WLUP, led by then a 24-year-old DJ Steve Dahl, they told people that they could attend the game for just 98 cents if they brought a disco record to be destroyed in an on-field explosion between games.
Whoa.
So Dahl had been fired from a different station in Chicago when that station began to play all disco all the time.
Wow.
So he was like, nope. So he began working at a rival rock station where he would regularly destroy disco records on the air. So he would do that
scratch
record
it.
scratch.
Yeah.
That was a horrible.
No, that was
horrible.
We're gonna insert
I
a clip
so.
right there.
I hope we can find a better version of what I just did. Yep, that's what he would do. Okay, so this is a doubleheader, 2 games. The Sox lost the first game. During the intermission, a crate of records was placed in the outfield, and Dahl was out there with a megaphone or megahorn, whatever it's called. Megaphone. And he was wearing a combat helmet and a military jacket. He looked very I don't know.
Stolen Valor?
Guerrilla fighter guy. And he was chanting "Disco Sucks," and he was leading the audience in this round of "Disco Sucks."
Guy is super bitter.
He really hates it. He really hates Donna Summer. Really hates her. I think she's a goddess. Bless your soul. Okay. Then they blew up the crate, which scattered pieces of records into the air.
Like shrapnel.
It's basically shrapnel.
Yeah.
And left a moderate crater in the center field. Not a huge one, but it did smolder. There's images of this as well.
There weren't any casualties, though? No one got hit?
Not because of that.
Oh, God.
It's what happened after the explosion.
Okay.
So after the explosion, most of it's almost 48,000 fans stormed the field and started throwing records or pieces of records and just tearing shit up. So the Sox had to forfeit the second game because of the chaos. So the drinking age for beer and wine was 19 at that time. So you can imagine all these 19-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
19 through 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, or whatever, bring in their disco records and blow shit up.
Oh my God.
You know? Okay, so just another quick quote from an eyewitness, somebody who was there. Mm-hmm. It paints a picture. So Harry Carey, do you know who that is? He's a famous sports announcer.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho, Harry Carey comes up out of the Bard's room and says, I don't know what a Bard's room is, and says, "What the hell is going on?" He gets on the microphone and yells, "Let's get back and start playing some baseball." He starts singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I think more people jumped out of the stands after that. And so that's from former WLUP disc jockey and program manager Mitch Michaels.
He probably encouraged them even more. They were fucking theme music to fuck shit up even more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they did a panel at the Elmhurst History Museum, and it was a discussion for Chicago in the 1970s music, sports, and radio. So that quote is from his portion of that panel when they were talking about it. So the even more interesting aspect is that some people that have written about it and that were there describe it as more of an expression of racism and homophobia. There was a story by a guy who was there, and he was like shocked because he was seeing stuff like Percy Sledge or whoever. I don't know if that's right, or I don't know, like Otis Redding, you know, that like old, you know, soul records or whatever. And then instead of like, that's not disco.
Yeah.
Why would you want to destroy it?
Okay, yeah.
First of all, you're dumb. So yeah, and then something about disco and gay culture or whatever. So yeah, there were people that were like, it was more about, it was about something else.
Some undertones there, yeah.
Well, either way, Disco Demolition Night remains well known as one of the most extreme promotions in Major League history.
That's insane.
Yep. The last, that's a nicer sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's an even nicer sound.
I'm just relieving myself.
Gross.
Don't mind me.
Grody.
Oh god, it smells so strong.
Your urine?
Yeah, I had a lot of asparagus today.
Ew. Ewy. The last story that I have is Fan Man. Fan Man was an American parachute and paraglider pilot who is known for flying into various sporting events. I've never heard of this person before in my life before looking this up. His most infamous appearance was during the November 6, 1993 boxing match between Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe. I think, or Bow, I don't know, Bowe, probably. And this was at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. So this was the heavyweight championship rematch between the two fighters. Almost exactly a year before that, they had their first fight where Bow, whatever, had dethroned Holyfield.
Okay.
So this was like their rematch. In the 7th round, Fan Man, aka James Miller, circled Caesar's Palace in like a robotic kind of paraglider thing. Like it wasn't just, it was like motorized.
Okay.
So so he circled Caesar's Palace for about 10 minutes before he suddenly crashed into the ring.
Oh, jeez. And like, was the fight going on already?
Yes.
Oh,
during the fight. During the 7th round.
Damn.
Yeah. So the lines of his paraglider thing got tangled in the stadium's overhead lights, and so it led to kind of like an awkward landing. He later claimed that landing in the ring was accidental, but there's an ESPN blimp that was flying around as well, and it's got footage of him that kind of suggests that it shows him circling it, like,
what?
Yeah, you would be veering elsewhere instead of...
But why would you...
Okay. Why would you? I don't know. I really don't know why this man does what he does. The fight was delayed by like 21 minutes. Mm-hmm. It took exactly 21 minutes for Miller to be beaten unconscious by security and Bowe's entourage and then rushed to the hospital. Just 21 minutes to beat that man.
That doesn't surprise me.
Right?
I mean, think about all the testosterone and how pissed off those guys are.
In the middle of beating the shit out of each other, and now they've got...
So did it fuck up the ring?
No. So he was later quoted as saying, it was a heavyweight fight, and I was the only guy who got knocked out. Ba-boom. Yeah. So, the fight did restart, and Holyfield won. And this would be the one and only loss in Bowe's professional career. So had Fan Man not interrupted the fight, who knows what would have happened? Who knows? So he was in the right to beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, I'd be livid.
Okay, so Miller would later... No, wait, hold on. I think I wrote my notes wrong. I wrote, Miller would later did... I can't.
No, please.
I can't say it without laughing. Miller would later did it again. I don't know what that means. have not been drinking, I swear. All right, so he did it again by flying into a Raiders-Broncos game, which, oh, God, the fact that he survived Raiders fans, like, after doing this, like, I'm surprised.
How did he even still have a job after the first thing? Like,
a job? Like, who is he? He wasn't hired by anybody to do this. He did it on his own.
He just flew around.
He just did it on
For some reason, I thought it was like a spectacle that they had hired him for.
Nope. It's his own spectacle.
Oh, what a dick.
Yep. So, he flew into the Broncos game, Raiders-Broncos in Los Angeles, and then he did the Bolton Wanderers Arsenal Premier League
did he
match
not get
in England.
Arrested for any of this?
Well, he went to a different country, so he did it in England. They didn't know. They didn't know about it. They're like, we don't know about you.
That's so fucking weird.
Yep. He's a weirdo. So he was later banned from the UK after landing on top of Buckingham Palace. Like, dude, that's like landing on top of the White House. You could get shot for that. Like, snipered out. Snipered out? That's not a word.
Snipered out.
I know so much about a lot of things. Well, okay, and then after he landed on top of Buckingham Palace, he took his pants off and he ran around evading security.
Okay, this guy's not right. What is up with your stories and streakers tonight?
I know. That's another common thing, apparently. Okay, and then there was I found one story that said that he had painted his lower half green as a symbol against violence or whatever, and I was like, but it was one story, so I didn't take it as fact. Take that information with
he was naked and painted himself green?
When he took his pants off,
it was just green.
It was green. As a symbol against violence or whatever, and I don't get that at all.
I hope that's true.
I don't know. Okay, so you know how we were talking shit about this man? Oops. So unfortunately, in September 2002, he was reported missing, and they found his decomposing body in March of 2003 in a remote section of the Alaskan wilderness, where authorities said it was very possible that he might never have been found. So it was like an accident that they found him.
Oh, wow.
He had committed suicide at the age of 39. This is really messed up. At that time, his girlfriend was expecting his child.
Oh, no.
But he had been suffering from severe and debilitating arterial disease, which is apparently very painful.
Right. It sounds like he also had some mental illnesses, for sure.
He had also a lot of debt from his medical bills, so that would put a real strain on him and his relationships, I'm sure. So debt is one of those things that people I guarantee, and I can't guarantee anything. I wouldn't be surprised if that is a major factor for a lot of suicides. Debt.
Oh, absolutely.
In this country, at least.
Have you? Oh, well, you not so much, but shout out to Suicide Buddies. A lot of the reasons that people, I'd say a decent percentage of the guys they cover, part of it's debt.
Debt.
Yeah. Debt. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. We need your feedback, likes, subscribes, and comments. Tell us what you think by emailing us at itsallgoneterriblywrong@gmail.com, no apostrophe. Reach out to us on Facebook at Gone Wrong Podcast or on Instagram at It's All Gone Terribly Wrong. You can also find our episodes on iTunes by following our RSS feed guide found on Facebook or on our Libsyn website at itsallgoneterriblywrong.libsyn.com and by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Also, please, please, please sign up for our Patreon page and donate to our beard and weird obsessions.
Did you just say beard?
Is it beard? You want to say it again?
No, I thought you said beard and weird.
Do dicks and beards.
Beards and weirds.
Love you.
Ooh. Okay, done. So, on a lighter note, so those are our weird sports stories. These are some weird sports, and these are from around the world. Ooh. So the first one is kabaddi soccer. I am probably not saying it right, but I don't care. In the Indian game of Kabaddi, 2 7-member teams compete on a small field. The teams alternate sending a raider onto the other side to tackle members of the opposite team. While he chants Kabaddi, Kabaddi, the raider must touch members of the opposing team and return to his side all in a single breath. Like he runs around.
How do they know if he's cheating?
Exactly. That was my exact point. Like, I can fake hold my breath all day long if I wanted to. Like, they would think I'm some sort of god. But like, you can't tell if somebody's holding their breath anyway. But that is the point of that game. If he takes a breath, he's out. If he doesn't, his team gains extra points and can reclaim a lost player. And the game has been practiced for hundreds of years. It was, but it wasn't until 1950 that the Kabaddi Federation of India standardized its rules. So it's like their NBA or whatever. So the game was included for the first time in the 11th Asian Games in Beijing in 1990. What? And has increased in popularity throughout Asia. Again, I don't understand how people monitor that.
No.
I don't get it. I don't.
When you said that, it made me think like the origin was like just a bunch of dudes got really high and then they're like, okay, you have to take this bong rip and then hold it in as long as you can while you try and touch people.
That you can monitor because you can see the smoke.
That's true. See? That's how it started.
Air from your lung holes. You can't see it. It's invisible. Like goodwill towards men. No, I'm just
like Buddy's eyebrows.
Yes. Like Buddy's eyebrows. Your poor little eyebrows.
Little podcats so in here. Cute. His eyebrows still aren't better yet.
They're getting there.
They are.
Just slowly but surely.
They're adorable.
Do you want to hear about camel wrestling?
Yes.
Camel wrestling was once practiced throughout oh God, I'm gonna mess it up. Anatolia, but is now mainly restricted to Selçuk, Turkey, and the Aegean region. So, nailed Aegean, screwed up on region. Oh, my life.
1 out of 2.
So, elaborately saddled male camels. They're dressed in traditional colors and they have bells jingling off of them with bells on. They show up with bells on. They're paraded before a female that's in heat and to get them all riled up. And then they have to battle each other for the female. What the fuck? They put them basically in a mating ritual. But here's the really crappy part. So they put them in a mating ritual, kind of mating fight, and camels kick and they push like each other. They usually last about 10 minutes before one of them tries to like either scream or like the other one tries to like bite it. So whenever that happens, like whenever it starts to get like real rough, like, oh, somebody's screaming, somebody's biting. Okay, let's break it up, guys, break it up. And so whoever the one that screamed lost, one that, I don't know, whatever. So they declare a winner.
I thought you were going to say they like did it till like one of them was dead.
I know. No, they care about their camels. There's still transportation over there. So
excellent.
So an estimated 1,200 camels are bred specifically for wrestling competitions each year.
Jesus Christ.
Though only around 120 earn a coveted spot in the Selçuk's annual camel wrestling championship.
I bet those camels are so fucking proud too.
Right? And they don't even get to mate.
Bang.
They don't get to bang. They don't get to bang. That's the worst part for them.
I would lose then.
Yeah, I'd be like, what's the point? You can have her, dude. There's also pumpkin paddling. Speaking of Canadians. Yeah, Canada, you're weird. So for some Canadians, I guess not all of you are weird, fall's most recognizable gourds are more than just vegetables. They're vehicles. In the chilly waters of Lake... Oh, I just stole all of this, sorry, from like some website. I'm sorry. Source is Google. Really professional. But anyway, they say it better. They say it best. But yes, in the chilly waters of Lake Pasquid, I don't know, in Nova Scotia, they have supersized pumpkins, plantations.
Yes.
Whatever, wherever you grow pumpkins.
Pumpkin patches?
Yes. Okay, so the residents race miles in these orange behemoths, it says. According to, averaging 600 pounds. Yeah, 600 pounds. They hollow it out and jump on in. Since 1999, thousands of spectators have flocked to the lake to watch the annual pumpkin regatta, and a number of participants have grown. The number of participants have grown since then. So that's good for them.
How? Cheers to you guys.
It's just a weird thing.
How long would it take to grow a pumpkin that big?
I don't know how regular pumpkins grow.
Out of the ground.
I mean, I know how they grow. I don't know how long they take to grow. A season? 2? I don't know.
It's got to be more than that.
10 years? Do they grow that long? Do they rot?
I don't know. I think we might have to touch back on this.
Well, yes, you Google it and let us know. Because I don't care. I'm just kidding.
I care. I'm on it.
While you're Googling, I'll move on to this thing that I'm going to mispronounce. Yukon Canto. But it translates to wife carrying. They consider this a sport over in this area of the world. So the sport was originally inspired by the 18th century legend of Herko Rosvo Rockanin, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bless
Terrible you. At Finnish. So that is a Finnish forest thug who stole women from villagers. While that charming practice is generally frowned upon these days, it's morphed into the sport of wife carrying. The first wife carrying championship was held in the town of Sankajarva, in 1992. Most competitors use the Estonian style technique, wherein spouses hang upside down on their husbands' backs, grabbing hold of their waist, while the men race through a this is obviously a British article that I read. Through a 253 meter course. I don't know what that is in yards or feet. Sorry. So it's peppered with log hurdles and water obstacles. And the prize is apparently beer, which is great for them. Yeah. And this also is growing rapidly in Finland. So, and they've brought it to the United States, Maine, Wisconsin, and Michigan, where all those people end up. The Finnish...
Wait, why? Those are weird places to end up.
What? No, that's where, there's so many, Icelandic, German, whatever, families in, Wisconsin.
Oh, no, okay, that makes sense, because they're so far north.
Yup. So, that was the end of my weird sports from around the world.
I dig it.
I've got just a few more things. They're just weird sports facts.
Okay.
Just unusual. So the volleyball was made out of the bladder of a basketball. They found the bladder of a basketball and they're like, we can make this into a different sport and call it volleyball.
Huh.
It's evolved since then, but that's how it started. Fun fact. It's reported that 60% of retired NBA players go broke 5 years after they receive their last NBA paycheck.
That does not surprise me at all.
Go broke. Yep. And the last one is in 1941, Boston Red Sox player Ted Williams hammered a pop fly, I nailed it, that landed 502 feet from home plate at Fenway Park. So that's the longest home run in Fenway Park history, 502 feet. And just to give you an idea of how far that is, a football field is 300 feet, so that's almost 2 football fields.
Damn.
Yeah. And so when he did that, the ball hit a guy in the head who was sitting in the stands. And that seat that he was sitting in, the guy who got hit, is now painted red to commemorate the event or to cover up the blood.
Wait,
who knows?
Did it kill the guy?
No, he survived.
Oh, I was going to say that's super morbid if they...
They painted it red to cover the blood. So that is my weird world of... Ooh, sorry.
I love it.
Weird world of sports.
That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm. Cray, cray, they say.
I really dig the flying dude.
Fan man.
That's so weird.
Rest his soul.
Indeed.
Yeah. That is weird, though. And he did suffer for the cause. He got beat down. And he continued to do it. He was like, I loved it so much, I'm going to do it again.
Do you think he was trying to commit suicide
probably. Death by Holyfield?
Yeah.
Death by Boxer? Oh, buddy, you're so cute.
Oh,
you're adorable.
Podcat.
What you got? Oh, Jordyn.
Wait.
Tell me a story. I didn't wait.
Oh, I will. But I think...
You need a wee minute?
I need a wee and a water.
A wee and a water. Okay, now tell me a story.
Oh, I will.
You better be a good one.
Oh, it is. All right. Have you heard of the Chowchilla school bus kidnapping?
No.
Excellent.
Uh-oh.
On July 15th in 1976 in Chowchilla, California.
1976?
76.
What's up with these 70s?
I know, I was thinking that earlier when you were saying that about yours. So, 26 children aged from 5 to 14 were riding home from their summer school at Dairyland Elementary after attending a field trip at the Chowchilla Fairgrounds swimming pool, which is weird.
Where is this?
Chowchilla, California.
California.
A fairground swimming pool.
Right, that is
like
weird.
A lake.
Right, right. What is that?
A retention pond.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, so they were doing that. They were living their best lives. Their bus driver, Frank Ed Ray.
Frank Ed?
Yep.
Frank Ed Ray.
I guess it was Frank Edward, but he goes by Ed,
Frank
basically.
Ed Ray. Those are all three first names.
Yeah.
Never trust a man.
And they write his name with Frank Edward Ed Ray.
Edward Ed? Jeez, that's excessive. Okay.
So it'd be...
Sounds like a winner already.
Frank Edward Ed Ray. Fear. Good old Fear. He's the good guy in this.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So...
I take it all back.
Yeah, I guess when you hear school bus kidnapping, you think the bus driver. No. All right, so good old Ed was driving the bus with these 26 kids, and they were stopped roughly at 4 p.m. by Rick and James Schoenfeld and their friend Fred, not to be confused with Ed.
Oh, God.
Woods. So these three dudes block the bus, and then they force the driver and all 26 kids into... Sorry.
It's such a hilarious story. I can't wait to hear what happens.
No, I wrote they forced them into 2 white cans instead of 2 white vans.
Oh my God, that would be more unpleasant.
I don't know.
To be in 2 white cans.
All right, so they're in these vans, and I tried to look a lot of it up, but I couldn't find, like, as many details as I wanted.
Not a lot of details back in the 70s.
But, yeah, it said they hid the bus. I don't know how the fuck
They
you
hid the
hide...
bus?
Yeah, how you hide
in
a
the middle
school
of the
bus.
desert? I imagine it's deserty.
Well, they're in California. Actually, I even made a note of it. So, mind you, this was 76, so the census is definitely lower. In 2000, the census for their town was 11,127 people.
Small.
Yeah, so even
like
smaller back then.
That's a settlement.
Yeah. But then again, it's so small and probably not developed. How do you hide a bus?
You just take it out of that town.
I guess.
You just hide it.
Yeah, okay. So they hide the bus. They put these people in the vans. And so I'm assuming it's like the creepy pedophile vans. There's no like windows or anything. Because they drove them around for 11 hours.
In the town?
Just
a bunch of creepy...
Well, I should have looked up...
white vans driving around this town?
The difference. Shit, I totally should have looked that up. So they took them to Livermore, California.
Okay.
I should have looked at how far of a difference that was.
Livermore and who?
Yeah, Chowchilla to Livermore. So they drive them to Livermore, and they take them to a quarry, and they take them all out of the vans, and they put them into a moving van that they had buried, like...
1.5 hours.
Oh, well, shit. Even in traffic, it doesn't take 11 hours to get there. I wonder if they were just arguing the whole time.
1.5 hours to get between those two places.
Wow. Okay. So, quarry.
And this is all near... Livermore is actually near San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
It's like between San Francisco and San Jose-ish.
Okay.
But higher. And Chowchilla is lower than San Jose.
Okay.
Anyhoozle. Just for reference.
Excellent. They had a buried moving van. It's like all clay because it's like a quarry. So I don't know if that part was premeditated or for some reason the van was already there. It's weird. It's not like totally buried. I'll show you pictures, but it's kind of like they just chiseled out a part and like backed the van into it. And so they put them all in the back of the van and they gave them like a small amount of food, water, and there was like some mattresses in there. So their motive was to like obtain a ransom. But and it was possible that they were inspired by a story titled The Day the Children Vanished that was in a book called Alfred Hitchcock's Daring Detectives, which could be found at the Chowchilla Public Library.
That's a stretch.
It is a stretch.
Unless the exact scenario
it's a
is
super
4
stretch.
men stop a school bus of children.
3 men.
Or whatever. 3 men stop the school bus and...
It's still fun, though.
Right?
But they're kind of morons, so I don't really...
Right.
No.
Not readers.
Yeah. Because what happened was, since the town was so small and there was 26 children, everyone, like... all the parents were calling the police department. The media was calling the police department. So all the lines were backed up. So they couldn't call the police department to be like, hey, we want a ransom for this.
God. They couldn't get through to give them the ransom.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I guess they're like freaking out for a while. And so pan back over to Ed and the kids. So they're in the dark for a long ass time, and finally, and it's like hot as shit too.
It's always hot in
Yeah.
the north, or in,
Nope.
in the West Coast too.
Yes.
In the 70s. In the 70s, it was really hot.
Hot everywhere.
I mean, that might
Everywhere.
be a scientific like thing. Like it was just really hot in the
Might
70s.
There's like a super bad heat wave in
Check
Australia right now.
Yeah,
really
and a
bad.
drought. Like they're on the water drought
Yeah.
list or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of cities. This is weird, and we'll probably do a story about it later. But yeah, there's a lot of cities that have like water shortages, like large cities.
Yeah.
Like Johannesburg, South Africa. I think they were close to. I think it was them. They were like close to day 0 or whatever it's called, the day where there's like no water for anybody ever. But they managed to curb it. They like
I remember.
they cut it back.
Yeah.
They cut consumption back.
I
early
totally
enough.
remember that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, but there's a lot of cities like that.
Yeah. All right. So hot,
Super hot.
no water, basically. Ed and the kids stack the mattresses that are in there to reach the opening at the top of the truck. And so they had covered... having like a hard time envisioning how this worked, but anyways. So the top that they got out at, the 3 kidnappers, they covered it with a metal plate and weighed it down with 2 100-pound industrial batteries. And like it had dirt and shit on it too, obviously. So they finally managed to wedge that lid open with a stick. So there just happened to be it sounds like
right. This is
they
very...
didn't plan this shit at all.
No.
They were like, let's just throw some shit in here and put these people in here and get money. It's easy enough. So they finally get out. They get all the deterrents out of the way, and this was after 16 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I think, yeah, in addition to the 11 hours driving and then 16 hours in the truck. Yeah. So they get out.
Bomb shelter that they have.
Yeah. I don't have how long it took for them to walk. I think it was probably like roughly a mile or so though. They're in the quarry and they find there's like a quarry's like guard shack. So they find the guard, and obviously after that they like call the police and everything and get them out there to rescue them. So everyone was fine as far as like the kids physically goes. Like they
peed their pants, but
yeah,
because it's a scary situation.
Sure, they were like dehydrated and stuff, but overall like no one passed away.
Right.
And I guess it's impressive, dude. Like that bus driver had to keep his shit together the whole time.
Oh yeah, that's
and you know some of those kids
just murder him
because it was like 5 years old to 14, so you know like some of those little kids were just like freaking out.
Yeah.
But I guess the dynamic probably worked out where like the older kids were like trying to calm down the little kids.
You have a whole story in your head.
I do.
You have a movie playing right now in your head.
Actually, I think they did like
who plays the bus
TV.
Samuel L. Jackson?
No, like
not comforting.
John Goodman.
John Goodman.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the bus driver was young. I think he was like 25 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he might have been older than that.
I need to know.
I feel like I just made that up.
He's 25.
Oh, no, wait.
We make him 25, so he's
No, wait, do math. He was born in 1921.
And it's 1970? Oh, God. 50.
Okay, so I don't know where the fuck I got it.
Right? Is that math? Did I do math?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So 50. We're looking at our Brad Pitts and
50?
Johnny Depp's.
Clunes.
He's like 60.
Guys, so that voice.
I think.
He'd make a bad bus driver.
He made a bad... Wait, are you saying that, like, ironically, like, super bad? Or...
No.
He would make a terrible bus...
I don't use the term bad in, like, a good way.
Well, the way you...
It's like you were saying dope the other day.
Dope. I like it.
Okay.
George Clooney. I'm just curious.
I still vote John Goodman. So...
Oh, he's 57, so he could play younger.
Yeah.
George Clooney it is.
Okay. So, the truck was registered to the quarry owner's son, Fred, one of the 3 kidnappers.
Not to be confused with Ed.
Yes. So it was really easy to figure out what the fuck was going on.
Dumb.
So he fled to British Columbia, but they found him.
They're like, no, we have extradition. It's fine.
Yeah. And then the 2 brothers ended up turning themselves in. They were all sentenced to life in prison. The brothers, Rick and James, they were paroled, one in 2012, one in 2015. But Fred is a dick and was denied it because that's what it said online.
Really?
No.
Court documents.
Yeah. Verbatim.
He was a dick.
He continued to minimize his crime. He had disciplinary infractions, and then it says, including 3 for possession of pornography and 2 for penessing.
What is that?
You don't even want to know. That's why he's still in prison.
God, it sounds terrible.
He had some contraband cell phones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pornography, though? That shouldn't be an infraction. They're lonely in there.
They are, but...
Okay.
It's just the fact that he never really owned up or, like...
Oh, no, he's a dirtbag.
Yeah.
He's a dirtbag.
Yeah. The reason why I was saying, like, physically the kids were okay, but there was a study that obviously found the children suffered from panic attacks, nightmares involving kidnapping and death, personality changes.
Yeah, that traumatizes you.
Oh, for sure. Especially for that long being in there.
Right.
I'm still blown away that, like, they were all right.
Right.
Physically.
Right.
Some of these things are weird, but it says, some developed fears of cars, makes sense. Dark, makes sense. Wind, makes sense. The kitchen, mice,
what?
Dogs, and hippies.
Oh, what?
I mean, maybe the kidnappers looked like
and hippies. And hippies.
Yeah. So, one shot a Japanese tourist with a BB gun because the tourist's car broke down in front of his home. So I guess he was just like super paranoid.
And he shot a man. Oh my God.
With a BB gun.
Oh, but still.
Yeah.
You shot a man.
He was a Japanese tourist, all of all.
He was just a tourist. He broke
just
down. That's his thoughts of America now.
I know, right? Forever tainted.
That's how he feels about America now.
So even like 25 years after the fact, they're still reporting symptoms of trauma and whatnot. Some of them had substance abuse and depression, and some of them were imprisoned. But, I mean, shit's intense.
Yeah.
Anyways, on a lighter note, good old Ed.
Yeah.
He received a California School Employees Association, goddamn Tequila and Coke, citation for outstanding community service. So he just got like a badass award.
He got a medal.
He did.
Key to the city.
Yes. And he passed away in 2012, but before then he was visited by like many of the school children just like over the years that he had saved, which is like it makes my heart so happy.
Right.
And every February 26th has been declared Edward Ray Day.
Oh, good for him. He got a day.
It's so sweet.
He got a day.
Yup. And that is the Chowchilla school bus kidnapping.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Were any of these kids like from like a wealthy family, or like who was supposed to pay the ransom? The family, the city, like
it's a very good question. District? They didn't think any of it through.
I'm just gonna take.
They were probably like, well, there's a bunch
of
of kids on this bus. We'll figure it out. They probably expected the city to do it.
One of them's got to be worth something.
Well, I think normally because they were trying to
like black market organs. No,
you're going on
They're in California. They're in Southern California, so that's
these
not
guys
unusual.
Obviously didn't have like a full plan though. I mean, maybe they did a little bit. I don't know if like burying that truck was premeditated or if it just happened to fucking.
They never said like
because there were like mattresses in it, so maybe that was like their hangout spot. And
I kind of want to read their like court paperwork. Like what could they have said like to justify what they did? You know, did they say anything? Did they talk about it? I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, cause
I'll look into it more. It's definitely interesting.
It's Wild Wild West type of stuff.
Word.
Man, I want to go to California. Like, I lived there for a little bit, and it does have this, like, you know you're in California. Like, you step outside, you breathe the air, and you know you're in California. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those places. And it's got so much history and...
It's gorgeous.
Magic. It's magic there, but it's also very scary because there's a lot of scary people out there.
I mean, those are... Like, people probably say the same thing about Florida.
Everywhere, yeah.
Florida.
You're right. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. People hate Florida. Well, not everybody, but, like, the media hates Florida. I haven't seen a whole lot of good Florida-specific... I was watching another show that I binged for a little bit to make myself feel better was The Good Place, and they have a whole, like, bit where like everybody from Florida goes straight to hell.
That's hilarious.
Something like that.
I could never get behind that show. Like I tried to watch it a few times and just couldn't do it.
Garbage, but that's what I needed.
It got like awards, didn't it?
Did it? Well,
yeah, I think
I'm sure,
so.
but not by the right people.
That's just gross. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was watching Atlanta the other day, and they had something about, God, I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but one of the characters was like, "You've heard of Florida Man, right?" And Donald Glover was like, "No," and he was like, "No, it's just one man in Florida that does all this crazy stuff, and they just keep letting him get away with it, and he eats people's faces and does this, that, and the other." And they just like made it sound like a big conspiracy theory, and it was just one guy in Florida. It was so funny.
That's crazy. But I wonder if he was picking up on that kid that they thought he took bath salts, but he was really like, he had like a mental breakdown.
Oh, the kid that murdered the guy in the... I think they were just talking about, because every headline is just Florida Man, not...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, now I get it.
Yeah.
Click. Florida
It's
Man.
just one guy. Well, I guess there's a documentary about that, too. I never watched it, but I think it was called Florida Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
Look it up, folks. Folks. It's my Finnish way of saying folks. Folks. So that will conclude us for today's episode number 13. Thank you so much for sticking with us. If you are still here, please comment on our stuffs.
Yeah, and check out our Patreon.
Yeah. Oh, ooh. Exciting things. We have designs for our t-shirts.
Yes, we finally have like legit merch in the works.
And we're going to be at Pensacon, so please come out and see us there. We're not featured. I want to make that clear. We're just going to be there. So we're thinking of like Meetup. I don't know how Meetup actually works, so just find us there. We'll be walking around on Saturday for sure. So hope to see you there.
Yeah.
Not my brother, who's definitely listening because you won't be there. Maybe Matt, you're listening. Who else is this? Thomas? Probably not. Maybe at work.
He works.
Ha 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 ha. But yeah, everybody else.
Oh, sorry, that was weird.
What?
It was like a throwback. So I used to take this modeling class. This is so off topic. Sorry.
Like what?
We can edit it out.
My face is a question mark.
I took this modeling class, and one of the things that they taught you to do, like when it needed to look like you were laughing, was you made this noise. Ha ha ha. But like to yourself.
Wait.
Just like silently, like
it.
you're saying, ah ha ha ha, but in your head. I think I have PTSD from that. Like,
okay. I'm gonna have to practice.
Sorry, I was triggered. Anyway,
triggered. I said a trigger word. Whoops. Well, until the next time it goes, it'll whoop.
Yep, it already has.
I'm terrible at the ending. Let's try it again. Take 2. Well, until the next time it all goes terribly wrong.
I'm Jordyn Stock.
And I'm Rebecca Carlson.
And we're sorry.
Mm-hmm.